I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon. This is Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. It is September and it is the month of reviews. My name is Oodles and joining me this week we've got Biggie.
Oi, oi.
We have also got Candy.
Hello.
This is an audio podcast as well, mate.
Can't show off your watch on an audio podcast.
Also watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. We also have Gadget.
I'll read.
And the effervescent Stig.
Somebody hasn't done a script.
Not done a script, but
Hello.
Everyone's here. Everyone's here tonight. Look at this.
It's a rarity these days.
I don't like you not doing a script. It doesn't sound as natural.
Does it not, mate? Sorry. Just ad-libbing doesn't sound as natural as a script that I planned weeks ago.
That's a real weird thing to say, but it sounds so much more natural when you just...
The funny thing is, I don't usually do a script for the Nexus episodes because it's a full month for Nexus that we're going to be doing. Maybe I'll just pop some scripts in and see which sounds natural and which doesn't.
Well, that time you were just like, that one's Candy, that one's Stig.
Sometimes, and I have done this historically, the avid listener will know, every so often, every 6 months or so, I'll just name you. That's just in case someone's new to that one episode. Imagine that. It's always nice, because I do listen to some podcasts, and I'm joined by this person, this person, this person, and it's just normal. Then the hijinks ensue. I don't always like to berate you too much, guys. Plus, I'm not as poorly this week, and I feel good. I feel strong.
Good.
Good. How did it sound last episode?
But you were dying.
Yeah, intro was like...
You peaked at one point and then went rapidly downhill again.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
It's so far downhill, like, you turned into a Geordie man in the green room.
Oh, yeah. I fucked off, did I?
You did?
Yeah.
You let me, Candy, and Biggie do the green room by ourselves. It was chaos.
Oh, yeah, Stig weren't here at all, was it? Oh.
No. I was in London, baby.
Did you have a good time, mate?
Yeah, great time. Yeah, wrestling was mint.
Good.
I was like, thanks for reading that thing out last week, Biggie. And yes, we did a couple of times when it got darker, the whole stadium did light up their torches for Bray Wyatt, which was really nice.
Lovely that.
But yeah, the event was amazing. Seats weren't great to start with, where we'd got. Well, because it's in a stadium, they obviously have to put a canopy over the... No, we were kind of like halfway up. But because there's no roof, they have to put a canopy up. And to do that, obviously, and have all the lighting and everything, they have to have these big metal girders on each corner of the ring. And we were just looking right at this, so right into bang of the ring, in the middle of the ring. That's all we could see. So I was like, I don't really want to spend the whole time just watching the screens. So we clocked a few seats, kind of same areas we were further down. No one turned up after 2 matches, so we just went and took them, and then had a perfect view looking down on it. So
I do that everywhere. I do that cinema anywhere.
Yeah,
I was
just clocked it. Yeah, and I was like, no one sat there yet. It's like, if there's no one sat there in 2 matches, because some people turn up late.
Yeah.
So I was like, if no one sat there after 2 matches, we're going over there, and it was just so much. You could see the stage, the entrance way, like everything was so much better. So yeah, but there was a lot of shit that happened after it outside of the ring, which we're going to cover a little bit in the news.
Oh, intriguing. Candy, you've got a new child with you, haven't you?
I have a new child with me.
Yeah, on your wrist.
Oh, yes, sorry. I forgot to mention I've got my new little Starfield accompaniment here. I've got a Starfield smartwatch, which came with the
before we go on, does anyone know how far the moon is away from us right now?
I can tell you, actually. I can tell you right now. Bear with. Hang on a minute. I can tell you that we are exactly 374,287 kilometres away.
Can do it in miles?
Thank you.
I'm blown away.
No, kilometres. Kilometres only.
Does it have to be kilometres?
Yes.
Okay.
I can do so much. I can do so much. I was just saying before we started recording, I've got.
It's not very good if it can't do miles.
Nope.
Well, it maybe can. I haven't looked.
There'll probably be a
So I've got an accelerometer, a pressure game. Stop bullying me. I want to tell you what's going on.
Stop bullying.
I got loads of stuff. I got a barometer. The pressure is 1,021 right now. I've got an accelerometer.
And 1,000 people listening to this looking at their Apple Watch or their smartwatch going, yeah, mine's got that too.
Don't ruin this for me. I've got a magnetometer that measures the amount of tomatoes in the air.
Nope.
And
nope, that's not
temperature.
what it does.
So now, if I never ever need to find out those things, I know it's just there. It's on my wrist. And it's ever such a small thing. Look at that.
It's not small.
You'd never know it was there.
It looks like something from Beyblade.
Morphin time.
It's morphin time. What's the battery life on that?
Anyway, so moving on.
Yeah, far so. It's just a big lump of fucking plastic.
It just works, Noodles. Just leave.
We'll watch battery inside it. It's got two 7As in there, little tiny little fucking.
We'll get an update later in the pod and find out exactly if it's still on.
Yeah,
it is 100% now, but I just took it off the charge. I'll tell you at the end.
She's charged it especially. Anyway, we've been going on about this fucking watch for too long. I tell you what that watch doesn't do. It doesn't tell us the news. Biggie, it's time for Biggie's breaking news, innit, mate?
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
I like big news and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny that when Biggie walks in with an itty bit of updates and a big round ball thing in your face. Right.
I always forget he does that. I always forget, and when it turns up, it sneaks. It's like a pincer attack on the sensors.
Hollywood Actors Union eyes video game strike, which of course we all saw this coming. The union representing actors in the US is now looking to authorise a second strike against major video game companies. Talks between SAG-AFTRA, which is the acronym, and companies like Activision and Electronic Arts have reached a stalemate. The union
which is the acronym.
SAG-AFTRA, which is the acronym.
That was the most... That just sounded like thingy. What's his name? Steve Coogan.
Alan Partridge.
Alan Partridge, yeah, it was the most Alan Partridge moment I've ever heard in my life, which is the acronym. Get in the Lexus, mate, come on.
The union said on Friday, particularly on wage increases and artificial intelligence. Hollywood actors have been on strike since the 13th of July against major TV and film companies. Spokesperson for the game firm said both sides were seeking a fair deal. Voting on the second strike will be held between the 5th and the 25th of September.
I think they should. I think they should strike.
Get on, put them on strike.
It's about time that they've got like the industry, the video game industry in general, got a mouthpiece, really, and I'm all for that. Plus, Stig's backlog is screaming, "Yes, please strike, please."
Same with the film, though. Our backlogs above.
Yeah, keep it striking, keep it coming.
This showed us well because like the video game voice actors, like I'm not talking about like the stars. I'm not talking about like your Matt Mercers or your Nolan Norths or Jennifer Hales here. But like most of the people that do voices in video games, they'll get paid like a day rate of $200, $300, and that's it.
No residuals at all.
No residuals, no rights. Especially if they're doing like bit parts. Like you get some like voice actors who will do like 10, 15 voices in a game of just like random NPCs.
There was famously there was that guy that did the voice, some of the pedestrian voices in GTA 5, and look at the residuals he'd have made, even if he'd got like £1 for every copy sold. Do you know what I mean? That man would have been fucking loaded, but no, he got like £100 for a day.
Yeah,
it's not fair. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair. So, and it's like you see like the like for instance, obviously the big one, the minute Baldur's Gate 3, the voice actors are making like a name for themselves and they're being quite popular on social media. They're doing cameos to keep paying the bills.
Awful, isn't it?
Like one of like the fellow who plays Astarion. I mean, he's hilarious. He's wonderful. But he's doing cameos because, like, even though he's one of the main voiced characters in the game, he's still having to supplement his income, which I think is shocking.
It's disgusting because that is their job. They went to school for this. That's the profession.
They're actors.
They're paid money to be trained to do this. It's exactly the same as someone that's a fucking welder. Maybe it's not as hard physical work, but do you get what I mean?
It's a very skilled job, though.
It's a skilled job.
It's a skilled job. I can't act. We've all heard us act. We're terrible at it.
But also think of the amount of sessions that they have where they're doing like death sounds.
Yeah.
Like 4 hours of guttural screaming a day. That's going to fuck your voice. That's a physically demanding role.
Absolutely, yeah. Same as singing, innit?
Like me at work.
Yeah. How many times do you fall over at work?
The guttural dying sound.
Oh, I thought you were just doing the Wilhelm scream every time you fucking fall down the stairs.
Every time I send an email.
But yeah, I spot it. Bring on the strikes. Next.
Well, how much is the video game business worth? Well, Sakana, the market analysts, expect the US video game market to finish 2023 having delivered 3% growth, reaching $58.3 billion US dollars.
That's just the US one. That's just the US one. There's bigger markets in China and Japan alone.
Even more reason for them to be striking then in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Europe as well. Fucking, it's I mean, it's a cliche, innit? It's bigger than the movie industry.
Yep.
But it is. It fucking is. You don't get DLC for films.
Here's some figures for you. On a comparative basis, PlayStation 5 is now trending 5% above PlayStation 4 and 87% ahead of PlayStation 3 in units sold life to date, while Xbox Series trails Xbox One by 10%, yet leads Xbox 360 by 6%. But the Switch has also continued to perform strongly in 2023, helped by the release of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. In fact, the US lifetime sales of Switch hardware finally surpassed those of the Wii in the US market in July 2023.
What, is that the best-selling console ever then? Or is it the PS2?
PS2.
Or the Game Boy, maybe?
Yeah.
PS2's like astronomically big, isn't it?
Yeah. The Wii's
Switch lifetime sales now trail Xbox 360 by less than 1 million units and PlayStation 2 by fewer than 5 million.
Wow. It's catching up then. It could topple it, couldn't it?
Biggest selling.
No, it has to be.
Surely.
Yeah, well, because
that's almost guaranteed that the sequel to that console will be a Switch 2. They're not that stupid.
No, they had the Wii and then they went to the Wii U. They are that fucking stupid.
That's stupid.
We were actually talking about this on a Discord about like what they would call it, and I was like, well, they have to call it the Switch 2 because there's some as cool as like the Super Nintendo Switch sounds good, you know, from the NES to the SNES. From the Switch.
It's not the same, is it?
It will confuse people. There'll be a Wii U situation. You literally just have to call it Switch 2. This is the next Switch because otherwise people look at it and go, well, that's a Super Nintendo Switch is just a variation on like
it's just a
OLED
bigger one
or light. Yeah.
Switch 2 just has to be Switch 2.
Just
and you can do
Switch 2.
Two clicks.
Yeah.
On the marketing.
Unless it's something completely different and they give it a new name.
Which would be a stupid thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just Switch 2 is the...
I have no qualms in saying, I'm off to buy a Switch 2.
Yeah.
There's nothing in that makes me feel minging or anything like that. Like, the Xbox, as much as I loved the 360, when it went to Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series, that is the worst naming convention in gaming.
100%
horrendous.
And the only reason they called it the 360 is because they didn't want to call it the Xbox 2 because the PS3 was coming out.
Yeah, the 360 kind of sounded quite cool.
It was cool, wasn't it?
I have no idea why.
Xbox One. Remember when that came out? The Xbox One.
Yeah, everyone knows when you say the 360, everyone knows what it is. So it worked.
Fantastic console.
To then go from that to the third Xbox being called Xbox One, I was like, but not the Xbox, not the Xbox One, but the Xbox One. Okay.
Xbox One X Project Scorpio, remember that one?
Yeah.
Fucking joke. But it's just a massive industry. Can't ignore it. Next.
Well, speaking of Xbox, they've hired Mina Kato as Director for Partnerships in Japan, responsible for leading partnerships worldwide for Japanese publishers at Xbox. She previously had 8 years plus of leading roles at Sony Interactive Entertainment, PlayStation Japan.
Sting off. It's gone. We've lost it. It's your pronunciations, mate. They're so good.
I do try.
We know. Yeah,
okay,
that's
next.
cool. That's good. No. I've got that. That's good. One way to get someone like me over to a platform that I don't have is to get more Eastern games that are there. They're doing a really good job at that at the moment because I keep looking over going, They've got the games I like. So I keep looking over, and then I keep hovering over that. I keep seeing the Series S at 150 quid now, and I'm like hovering.
I would,
but I may as well just save up and get an X.
I would hold off on the S because based on like
Baldur's Gate,
what we talked about last week,
and what the other grumblings from with it. Apparently, S, kind of holding them back a bit.
Wait for an X in it. Save up, put money aside, get an X for Christmas. It'd be a lovely little Christmas box, that won't it?
Didn't they drop the price for the Series X already?
Yeah, but not enough for me.
I don't think so.
Not enough for me.
Or me, to be fair.
If they can get the X to between 380 and 400.
I think they put the price up by 20 quid because I paid 450 for mine, and they're 480 now.
Fuck that.
Oh wow.
PS5 went
Is that with the game?
So
that's with like Argos, Currys. Like they all have the same price.
If it got to a straight 400 quid, that's something I could justify.
Hey, if you pay 490 quid, you can get it with a copy of Diablo 4. I know you're killing yourself for that one.
Fuck off, mate. Fuck. I got offered a code for that, mate, and I refused it. Never. Fuck that. No. But yeah, okay. Next.
Tell you who isn't dropping their price. Sony is raising the PlayStation Plus prices up by $40 per year. The new pricing goes into effect starting from September the 6th, in a couple of days. Exactly 2 months after Xbox Game Pass prices went up. So for Essential,
Game Pass is a better value property.
For 12-month subscriptions for Essential in the UK, you'll be paying $59.99. For Extra, it's $99.99, and for Premium, $119.99.
Nope.
I mean, if you actually break down what the Game Pass is a month for a full year, it's about the same price. But to me, you just get more with the Game Pass. Next week, well, this week when it comes out, I'll be able to play Starfield, and if I don't like it,
you haven't wasted any money.
Nothing. Like, it's part of my subscription service, and if I love it, then I've got an amazing game out of my
I agree. PlayStation, I think, on their PS Plus Essential plan, however it's called, they've had 3 day drops, haven't there? There was the Stray. There was Sea of Stars recently, which I'll talk about that in a bit. And another one. There was one other one that they got day and date. Was it Roller Drome?
No, it wasn't Roller Drome. It was it was
there was another one.
Cheer.
Yeah,
that's 3 in a year compared to Game Passes. Nearly one a month.
Party games.
None of them are first party players.
Yeah, Stray was like 25 quid to buy. The thing is, PlayStation just doesn't need to compete with Xbox.
It's not scared,
in terms
is it?
No, I mean it's got enough. It's got the titles. That's where its strengths lie. Xbox needs to provide something like that, and that's where it's great for consumers that they're kind of competing. But yeah, PlayStation just don't even need to do a subscription service at the moment.
They just don't give a fuck, do they?
They don't, because as soon as they announce the prices, they also release this month's September games, and they are the rebooted Saints Row, which is now from a defunct developer.
A dead dev.
A poorly reviewed Generation Zero, and the often criticised MMO Black Desert. And nobody wanted these games this month.
I mean, no one bought Saints Row when it came out. No one's wanting it for free.
No, definitely not. I was interested in that Generation Zero, whatever it's called, and then I saw the reviews and I'm like, no.
Yeah, good concept, poor execution, I think.
I just don't. I'm unlike Biggie. I don't have an expandable SSD. I just don't want to waste the space.
Game changer.
I mean? And I don't want to pay for PS Plus either. Fuck that. Sounds like a right rip off. What's the minimum tier on PS Plus now? The normal online one.
Essential. That's the £60 a year one.
60 quid. That's a game.
I mean, it is, but it's also what, £6 a month?
And you're kind of forced into paying that, aren't you? If you want to do any online stuff whatsoever, you sort of have to pay that.
Luckily, I got my
Xbox as well.
Yeah. PlayStation used to be free, didn't it, on PS3?
Yeah.
Then there is, they can make money out of it. But also, the PlayStation 3's online was shite.
I can't remember. I don't play online anyway.
It was like current Nintendo
played a bit
levels.
of Elden Ring. Played a bit of Elden Ring with that month when it first came out, and I was doing the fight clubs, and then I just never resubscribed. I never have auto renew on anything.
Mine auto renewed like a couple of weeks ago, so I got it at the previous price. So kind of looking at that one.
It's just what was it? It's like 40 quid once, and I would have paid that to like carry on playing Battlefield with my mates, and I just don't play it enough with them. So I tried to get them onto Xbox, but it's not.
That's the thing. Like every single one of my mates that plays games, there's not that many, but they've all got PlayStations. It's just no brainer. They don't even consider Xbox in their lives. It's just one of them things. That's why they're trailing behind on that aspect. But again, as a package, you can't argue with that Xbox, can you? But enough of that. Next.
As mentioned, Volition are now defunct. The team has proudly created world-class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years. We've been driven by a passion for our community and always worked to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced a restructuring program to strengthen Embracer and maintain its position as a leader in the video game industry. As part of that program, they evaluated strategic and operational goals, made the difficult decision to close Volition effective immediately. To help our team, we're working to provide job assistance and help smooth the transition for our Volition family members. We thank our customers and fans around the world for all the love and support over the years. You will always be in our hearts. Volition Games.
They didn't even make that last Saints Row, did they?
No, they did. That was them.
Did they?
Yeah.
And that's the one that's on PS Plus. What a fucking kicking dicks.
I know. Exactly.
Fucking hell. Oh, I don't like this Embracer Group. They frighten me. They remind me of like Cyberdyne or something like that.
Yeah, they did a load of purchasing, didn't they?
Well, yeah, they did a load of purchasing when they didn't really have the money for it. It's all speculative investment and stuff like that. And they didn't get
will bring your money back.
Yeah,
not like Dragon's Den shite.
They didn't get this like $2 billion deal with the Saudis or Savvy Games or whatever it was called, which has then meant they bought too much. They can't afford to keep them going. And so they've basically loads of people's jobs are just going, which sucks.
Yeah, it really does suck. People's pensions and shit, it just upsets me. It really does. Oh, my heart goes out to all Volition people that have been affected and their families, etc., etc. But yes, a shame. Next.
Rockstar Games Vice President, as of writing, Mike Unsworth has reportedly left the Grand Theft Auto 6 developer after 16 years. Unsworth's linked profile was updated to indicate the veteran developer had left Rockstar. Mike is an accomplished writer who spent over 16 years working for Rockstar Games as a creative lead on some of the most critically acclaimed and commercially successful video game franchises of all time, most notably Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm. He did help run that company then at their peak, really, didn't he? At their prime.
Well, vice president of writing.
Never better at
vice president of writing, yeah. So he shipped 2 games, GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption
16 years,
2.
yeah. 2 games.
Yeah, but 2
that's
huge games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all they needed to do. That's when you know you're the biggest.
Actually, no, yeah, I've just seen that bit below where he's got his credits. Yeah, it's a bit more than that.
Yeah, his credits
Max
are Red
Payne
Dead
and stuff
Redemption,
like that.
1 and 2, Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, Max Payne and LA Noire.
So is he leaving or retiring?
Yeah,
He's leaving.
This is leaving.
Just leaving.
Ah.
He's off to Xbox then, isn't he?
He'll be snapped up somewhere then, won't he? Surely.
Embracer Group.
Been quite a few top level people go from Rockstar over the last year or so.
I reckon there's something that's going to come out about it then. Toxic environment, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, they are in Dundee. Of course it's toxic.
Yeah, actually, if I was Xbox or Microsoft, I'd be...
You grab them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and try and just write,
come and fix Halo.
We need a AAA. We need a AAA with some like top quality writing. Like, we need a PlayStation kind of...
You need that
level.
kind of person, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a Neil Druckmann on the Xbox teams. That's what you need. God, imagine Xbox doing a single-player narrative action game. God, imagine. They've never done it, though, have they? Never done it. Next.
No, nothing is on the level of PlayStation anywhere.
No.
Konami's confirmed the PS4 remasters of the first 2 Suikoden games will no longer release this year, as the studio needs more time to ensure the quality, performance, and gameplay experience our users deserve. A new date has not been announced, but it's expected in 2024.
What series is it called again?
Suikoden.
Suikoden.
Nope, Suikoden.
Come on. Told you you'd get it wrong.
Nope. Check it out. Check it.
Check it before you wreck it.
So yeah, I played the first one. I finished it. I loved it. I've not played the second one.
Second one's even better, mate. If you love the first one, you'd love the second one even more. It just you know, when if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but make it a little bit better. It's one of those. It's fantastic, fantastic. But I'll wait. I'm in no worry. This fucking everything's out.
Exactly.
Don't need another. Yeah. I'll wait. You said January.
They just said next year.
No, it just says 2024.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Too many games out this year.
Too many games.
They're good games.
Next.
Well, the first one's good anyway.
It is really good, mate. You're right.
You need more than 20 seconds to comply. As dear Robocop fans, we were blown away by the incredible response to the closed beta, which ran from July 3rd to the 9th. We've also heard your thoughts on areas that need a bit more polish to ensure an even better gaming experience. With that in mind, we've decided to give ourselves more time to make necessary improvements to the game and address your valuable feedback. The new release date for Robocop Rogue City is now November the 2nd, 2023.
People were saying it were good, weren't they? People were enjoying it.
I don't think I heard anything about it. I didn't even know it was having a beta.
Didn't even know it was having a beta. I've seen the previews and stuff, but it seemed like every kind of in-game preview I've seen seems to be a machine pushed up to the max.
Yeah.
And so I can't really get a good read on what it's actually going to look like, but
apparently,
there's not a massive pushback though for dates, is it?
No.
Maybe they just had a few things to tweak then. Like, yeah, exactly. If the feedback was good, but it was like, this is great, but there's just this tiny little niggle. So okay, we'll just...
Too much clipping. There's too much this, too much that. Yeah, by all accounts, I watched a YouTuber talking about it. He was in one of the betas, and he was like, "It's fucking good." You know what I mean? It's like no longer do we live in an age where film tie-ins are shite. They're just not. You can get good shit. You know what I mean? Think of like Spider-Man. I know it's based on a comic book, but they're heavily based on the films and stuff, aren't they?
So I guess we'll be looking forward to that Avatar game when it comes out in December.
No, it's not like the films. And it's an Ubisoft one as well.
It is.
Boo.
What if it reviews like one of the best games of the year? It's like 96 on Metacritic.
But then I'll also be typing in Google, how many towers do I have to climb to open the map?
That'd be trees.
Yeah, trees. Trees, sorry. I fucking hate that shit. Just give me the map.
How many Smurfs do I have to sleep with?
That's how you think. I ain't sleeping with none of them. It's disgusting. Next.
Elon Musk drew boos and chants of bring back Twitter at the recent Valorant Champions Grand Finals after being spotted at the event over the weekend.
It's worth finding the video of that because his face drops. It's great. He thought he was going to get like fucking cheered.
His face drops anyway.
Did he
He's like
really?
Permanently dropped.
It does look like it's
like
kind of falling off.
His skull.
I feel guilty for laughing now. Like, I found that funny, but now you said his face drops, I feel like I've bullied him.
Oh, man.
Fuck him. He's a cunt.
Mate, he bullies you. He bullies everyone else.
Does. Yeah, he does. But,
fucking hell. No. Remember where his money comes from. Never forget where his money comes from.
Yeah.
What, you mean apartheid emerald mines?
Oh,
yes,
yeah, okay, all right.
Those ones. Never forget.
I don't like to think of people upset, though.
It's Elon Musk. He's not a person. He's a billionaire. They're not people.
Okay, fair.
Watching videos of Nazi Germany going, oh, yeah, but look how sad Adolf looks. Look how sad he looks. He looks really sad.
He loved his dogs, though, Adolf.
You're an animal lover and a vegetarian. How? He can't be that bad, surely. Fucking hell, man. No, some people are just horrible bastards, and you're allowed to be horrible to them.
Yeah, okay. I need to remember that in life.
Yeah. Next.
Coming for you, Oodles.
Come at me. I deserve it. It's okay to be a gamer.
Staying up and binging Starfield literally saved a player's life. A Starfield player has credited the sci-fi game with saving their life after they stayed up late to play it and was awake when their apartment complex caught fire.
It wasn't their Xbox catching fire, though, was it?
No. Yeah, it was.
Turns out he'd put his watch on the charger, his Starfield watch on one of those charging parts, and it was setting on fire because it's just a big lump of plastic that shouldn't be that warm.
Well, I can tell you how hot it is, actually.
Oh, yeah. 55 degrees Celsius.
Well,
like two people on this pod, this person waited for this game since the trademark rumors of 2015-2016. In anticipation, I pre-ordered the premium edition, waiting to play this game. On the night of the 31st of August, I decided to stay up and play as long as possible to experience this new universe. At 2:26 in the morning, while playing the game, I heard an explosion from my downstairs neighbour's apartment. I paused my game to see what was happening, and when I opened the door, I saw flames rising up stairwell to our apartment. They said that because they were already awake, they were able to quickly rouse their wife, grab the family cat, and escape the fire with only minor burns.
The cat survived. I'm happy about that.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I care more about the cat
I hope
over
he saved
anything.
his progress before, though.
Just
hang on.
It auto-saves, it's fine.
Yeah, it's cloud. Cloud save.
I've got to get to a checkpoint.
I'm telling you now, if I were like stuck in a really hardcore Dark Souls boss and house on fire, I'd finish boss first. I'm telling you now. Definitely, 100%. Imagine that gadget, like the last boss that me and you did, and you were like, oh no, fire alarm's going off. Oh no, he's got a quarter of health left. We'd still finish it, wouldn't we?
I just got this image of like everyone's out, everyone in the whole row of your street is out. Everyone's like, he's still in the house. And you're just sat there, and then the next minute you just dive out the window. Got him.
Put your foot on the achievement.
Yeah.
And then everyone clapped.
Yeah, and everyone stood up and went, he is the king of the non-gamers. Yeah, that's right. Next.
Yeah, man.
Over to the world of TV and film. David Grand says that Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio's next film is The Wager. Follows a trial where a British crew survives a shipwreck, and 6 months later, another crew washes ashore, claims they were the actual mutineers.
Ooh.
I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Scorsese and DiCaprio.
Yeah, they don't miss.
No.
Give me.
Next up, Chris Hemsworth and Pedro Pascal will star in Crime 101, an adaptation of Don Winslow's novel described as in the vein of Heat. Amazon and Netflix are currently battling for the rights to this film.
This'll be good.
Couldn't they have found attractive actors to be in it, though?
No. God.
They could have got some good-looking people, couldn't they?
Be so terrible to look at.
I think it's
awful.
It's a story about like a guy tracking down a cartel guy. So, yeah. Well, if it's true, then yeah, it'd be great.
I wonder who plays who.
Maybe they'll switch it.
I wonder. Yeah, that'll be the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. You thought the Latinx was going to be the guy. No, you were wrong.
It's the white Australian man.
Unless Chris Hemsworth is putting on a really dodgy Mexican accent through it.
He's actually Brazilian. He's just a really, really pale one.
Got a massive sombrero on or something.
Big handlebar
Smell
mustache.
like this burrito.
You have to take it one extra step, one extra level, don't you? Just one. Bing. There's a line. He likes to spit over it. Next.
Killers of the Flower Moon will no longer have a limited release on October the 6th and will instead release worldwide on October the 20th, and it will also be available in IMAX.
I am thinking about going to the cinema to see this.
It's a 4-hour one, though, Hoodles.
Yeah, but I did Oppenheimer all right.
Is it 4 hours?
That's a sick shit film for you.
Yeah,
it was only 3.
No,
I'm
it's
sure,
4.
I read it was
I'm pretty
4
sure
hours.
it's... Yeah,
I thought it was 3 and he had a 4-hour cut. 3 hours 26. Woo! That includes
split the difference.
Yeah, that includes credits. Always take off 15 minutes of credits.
Do you know what? When I've noticed with these longer films now, I literally don't go in as soon as opening time because I'm not sitting there watching trailers I've already seen for fucking half an hour.
Yeah.
I just don't do it anymore.
The trailers in this.
Yes, but you can see them online.
I mean, I like the trailers.
Doesn't matter.
But if you've like I went to the cinema like 4 times in the space of 3 weeks, seeing trailers.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of
Going at the last
its luster
second
at that point.
You've got a ticket anyway. You've got your seat. No one's nicking it. And if they do, you do that awkward English thing. I'm sorry, but you're sat in my seat. Why are we apologising when someone's sat in our seat? I'd be like, fuck off. Ticket. My seat. Then they stand up and they're 6'5" and then kick fuck out at me. But
and then you ask them to save it for you while you go for a shit.
Sit back here, please, mate. Keep it warm.
Yeah, good. I mean, just in general, it's good. Like having a proper cinema release. So, I mean, it's all.
I'm planning on going to
it, but
I think I've seen. I'd like to say since. Yeah, I think I've seen all these big hits in cinema, even re-releases. So I'm bang up for it. Bang up for it. And this is, judging from the trailer, it's quite different for him. So I'm into it. Into it. Next.
Few quickies. An animated Lego Jurassic Park special is coming soon to Peacock.
You reckon it's going to be the second best Jurassic Park film?
Probably,
yeah.
I'm up for it.
The Lego stuff does tend to be quite good.
Ones, yes.
Yeah, I like the Lego. I like Lego Human Me. I've been playing the Lego Harry Potter that Kurt bought me because he's such a nice boy and it's fucking funny, man. It's funny. I have to wait to carry on playing the Lego Harry Potter because I've not got past it in the films. So I just stop. But yeah, I love Lego stuff. I like the Lego film. Liked it.
Well, the first Lego film was good. The second one wasn't.
Is there a second one?
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
It's not as good. No, Lego Batman was really good though.
I really like that.
Yeah, I love that.
And
love that one.
Like the comedy in the Lego games is great.
Yeah, I'm up for this Jurassic Park Lego universe to kick off and save it from a one-trick pony. Because that's what Jurassic Park is, a one-trick pony. It really is.
Plus, if you like Lego toys, you'll probably end up getting some new Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Jurassic Park Lego.
Yeah, I'd like the gates with the car.
You can buy the car. Yeah.
Next.
What I'm interested in, the first trailer for David Fincher's The Killer has been releasing November the 10th on Netflix. Well up for that.
It doesn't really give much away though, does it? I can't.
But it's the atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch any more trailers on it.
Just gonna go in. Blind.
Yeah, because I like his films.
You're a fan anyway. Yeah.
I just don't want anything to be given away, so I'm pretty happy to just go into that as blind as possible.
Well, speaking of things you like, Arcane Season 2 is coming in winter 2024.
Don't like that date, though.
No, sooner.
Do not like that date.
Do you think it means this winter? Maybe January.
Actually, you make a good point. In our heads, winter 2024 is back end of next year. But Attack on Titan did that. They said winter 2022 or something, and it came out in February. Yeah. So
still winter.
Fingers crossed. They mean the January.
There's two winters in every year, guys. Don't forget that.
Yeah, forget that it actually travels over to the following year. But why can't they just say, if that's the case, why don't you just say fucking February or January?
I still haven't finished first season of it.
What's wrong with you, man? Get it watched. It's incredible.
How far did you get?
I can't remember. A few episodes in.
Start it again, Oodles.
Start again. If you're not getting to episode 3 and be like, right, episode 3 is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen episode 3. I know the little twist, inverted commas, and blah blah blah. Yeah, I know the time jump and that. But it's that fucking theme tune at the beginning, man. Kills me.
Skip it.
You can skip it.
Oh, kills me.
Would you say it's your enemy?
Oh, shut up.
Weirdly enough, it actually works for that show.
No, it don't.
It does.
You could put Limp Bizkit
brace yourself, Gadget. How I Met Your Father has been cancelled after 2 seasons at Hulu.
Well, that's 2 seasons. Confirmed.
You'll never find out how she met their father.
I didn't want to know.
But how wouldn't you not know when we know how we met the mother in the last one?
Different family. It's just same concept, just gender swapped.
Here's a tale for you guys. Here's how I met your father. We know, Mum. He's told us. The exact same story.
Yeah, not the same family. Also, the mother dies.
It can't be the same story because she's dead.
Oh yeah, he did tell me that she died. Yeah. I'm thinking of Gadget's continuity.
Yeah,
slightly different, weren't it?
It was slightly different. Yeah, no, it was utterly shite.
It was always destined to never get past a few series.
And it was once because it was obviously the spin-off of it. You know, you had a token cameo from Neil Patrick Harris in it, and
I do like him though.
He's good, but he's pointless in it. He's in it for like 2 episodes and then fucks off again.
He's usually pointless in everything he does, but he's still usually good.
Yeah,
I like Neil Patrick Harris, especially when he's on stage.
Yeah, no, I think the problem is as well. So it just wasn't funny.
I think Cobby Smulders was in an episode as well.
Probably. I think all the cast like walked on and walked off at some point.
Did How I Met Your Mother start when people were still watching normal telly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big aspect of
it. And it was syndicated 22 to 24 episodes a season thing.
This is what I mean. That's a big aspect of it.
It's 2005, so yeah.
It started a year after Friends finished. And it was kind of billed as like...
timing.
It was billed as like the anti-Friends because... It was a bit ruder, and they hung out at a bar and at a coffee shop and stuff like that. And
did no one put a turkey on their head like Mr. Bean?
No.
I mean, they did do some stupid shit like that.
You need that daft episode. You always need a daft episode. But yeah, that's probably why, because it was on normal telly when people were watching. Is E4?
E4, yeah.
Oh, it was on E4. Yeah,
like constant rotation.
And it's perfect for that, isn't it?
That's Scrubs just went. It was just that and Scrubs for years. When that wasn't on, Scrubs was on, and then when Scrubs was on, that was on.
Yeah, that's why. And people have got that much choice now. Like, I'm not watching How I Met Your Father. Fuck that, boring. Next
statement from All Elite Wrestling and Tony Khan. All Elite Wrestling has terminated the wrestler and employment agreements between Phillip Brooks, also known as CM Punk, and AEW with cause effect immediately. Termination was confirmed today by Tony Khan, CEO and General Manager and Head of Creative of AEW. Termination follows a week-long internal investigation after an incident occurring backstage at AEW, all in London on Sunday, August the 27th. Following the investigation, the AEW Discipline Committee later convened outside legal counsel before making a unanimous recommendation to Khan that CM Punk will be terminated with cause. Khan offered the following statement. Phil played an important role within AEW and thank him for his contributions. The termination of his AEW contracts with cause is ultimately my decision and mine alone. Of course, I wish I didn't have to share this news, and it may come as a disappointment to many of our fans. Nevertheless, I'm making the decision in the best interests of many amazing people who make AEW possible every week. Our talent, staff, venue operators, and many others whose efforts are unsung but essential to bringing our fans great shows on television and at arenas and stadiums throughout the world.
Right. So, what did this young man do, Stig? If it's airable.
Young man, he's like 40, 44.
Oh.
So, yeah. Remember about a year ago, I actually talked about this and how excited I was for him to come back to wrestling?
Yeah, because I remember he said he came back in AEW and like you almost like teared up or something when his music came on. He walked on stage.
Is this the man that went to UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who he is. He's not a young man either.
No, so yeah, like he was one of the people that pulled me back into wrestling. Like his character and his storyline at one point,
dynamic,
was amazing, and it was the same for a lot of people. So he come back to AEW and I was like, "This is great." And then he had this storyline with one of his rivals was Hangman Adam Page, and in a promo, Adam Page said something personal, but no one else seemed to pick up on this. Genuinely, it just seemed to be it was a line that he said on TV that apparently he shouldn't have said.
What was the line?
I don't even remember.
So it's proper
even the podcasts I listened to didn't even pick up on it, and they're people who breathe and sleep and eat wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Like they didn't even pick up on it.
Wow.
And then he won the title, and then they have press conferences after every pay-per-view, and he fucking went off on one. Like
no way,
absolutely went off
out
on
of character.
Out of character, just went off on one on Hangman, on the EVPs of the company, and Tony Khan just sat there like a absolute wuss, just letting him do this.
And is he the Vince McMahon of this company?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, yeah, he is. He owns the company,
but he's not. And
a monster. It caused a massive fight backstage with the people he was talking about and badmouthing at this press conference. There was a massive fight and argument, and they all got suspended. CM Punk also got injured anyway, so he got suspended, and he was doing his time out with his injury.
Yeah.
He comes back, they've got this new show, Collision, on Saturday night. So he's over on that show. The people he was having a Barney with are over on the other show.
So they don't have to
keep them apart.
Yeah, keep them apart.
Doesn't matter. Like, and then last Saturday, there was a moment in one of the matches where Jack Perry, he was having a street fight and he knocked on the glass window of this limo, and he said something along the lines of "real glass." See, it's like Crimea River. And that was a reference because he wanted to do a spot with some glass, and CM Punk told him you can't use real glass, you have to use fake glass. And
Obviously.
he was being a bit all like bravado, like basically saying fuck fake glass, I'll use real glass. And he did this spot where he landed on the glass, his back on this windshield, real glass. And then as he's walking out, finishes his match, CM Punk's match is next, and they come past each other, and then Punk gets in his face about it and literally swings for him, then puts him in a chokehold, and a massive fight happens backstage in front of Tony Khan, in front of who is the boss, at which point a load of production equipment gets knocked over, some of it landing on Tony Khan, some of it landing on other people. This is all kind of what we've been told. Apparently they've got footage of all this as well, and from all this, yeah, they both got suspended, and then he's been sacked.
Bloody hell.
Right. Maybe he was just in general as well, just this might have been the final straw. And this Tony guy's gone, I've given you enough fucking warnings, and this has just gone overboard. I've been hurt. People have been hurt. You're ruining the brand. You've got to go.
Yeah, that's
Or
exactly what
fake?
it is. Because
it's not fake, though, is it? It can't be fake. It can't be fake. It's
this
not
isn't
fake.
He's actually been sacked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's because CM Punk is just a fucking crybaby. And just kind of ruining his legacy a little bit with some of the fans who, like myself, were so excited to see him come back.
Did you run home and pull your posters down?
And this was after he'd... no, because I kind of turned on him after the first incident.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
But, I mean, he left WWE because he walked out on them.
He didn't end his contract or anything?
Didn't end his contract. He didn't like the booking decisions, and he walked out on them.
It's not up to him.
Yeah.
It's not The Rock.
So that's basically him out of wrestling then. If he's pissed off the WWE and pissed off AEW, then there's no one for him to work for.
Yeah, basically.
Can't he go to these Japanese wrestling places?
No, they won't have him.
They won't have him.
If you try anything like that in Japan, they'd knock the fucking shit out of
you. They don't give a shit, them, do they? They will they will break fuck out, yeah.
But you just can't do this. And people trying to justify it. It's like, this isn't the 70s and 80s anymore where the boys sort their own problems out. You physically assaulted your colleague in front of your boss.
Yeah, you get sacked for that.
Doesn't matter if your job is to go out there and do fake player fighting, acrobatic stuntman shit. Backstage, that is not the show. And if you assault somebody...
You're supposed to be turned off, aren't you, backstage when cameras aren't rolling?
But he just can't take any criticism. He'll go out there and he'll make his snide little comments himself. But when anyone else does
someone else.
Oh, I'm not allowed to do that. And he just kicks up a fuss and he's just...
So this other guy, you reckon, is going to come back as normal then?
Yeah, he'll just come back, I think. He said a little stupid thing on TV, and he said apparently...
You know what's going to be good? That's going to boost his career massively. He's going to get bigger off it.
Probably. He's a bad guy, so even if the crowd start booing him, he'll just play up on it.
He'll love it, won't he? Like, yeah!
But yeah, it was just after they have this huge event last week, 81,000 people in Wembley, the biggest wrestling show, like one of the biggest wrestling shows ever. And everyone came out talking about it was CM Punk being an arsehole again.
I saw that attractive lady win the world title. She was pretty. Yeah, she's pretty. And talented. Extremely talented. Is that her from that film?
That's who the film's about, yeah.
Yeah, she's nice.
Oh, Soraya is actually her name.
Whatever she's called. Yeah. Talented and beautiful.
But yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. Because
you're used to it, though. You should, as a football fan, there's always the politics after an amazing game, isn't there? You always hear these...
Yeah, it's usually the fans kicking the shit out of each other, though.
Yeah, but you do hear it sometimes, especially big flight clubs, big top clubs. You'll always hear like, oh, it was a fantastic match, but let's just talk about the backstage shit that happened in the locker rooms.
If it happened in a football match, if one guy kept getting in fights and walking out...
got sacked.
Yeah, what's the common denominator there?
Yeah, exactly.
That one person, it all keeps happening around him, and yet he blames everyone else. It'll come out in the next few weeks, and it'll all be everyone else's fault.
There'll be a book. and try and sell his book. This is what really happened, the CM Punk story. But sounds to me like good riddance.
Yeah, just be honest. It's just
you, mate.
Good title for his life story, Deadbeat Punk.
Hey.
It's a shame, and he's just kind of ruined his kind of legacy with a lot of people.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Any more, mate?
Only the weird world where, but I think Candy needs to sit down, which she is, and having a sip of her drink. She's not ready for this, I think.
I put this one in because there's a part of it that I knew that would make Oodles laugh so hard.
Yes, let's go.
Are you ready, Candy?
I'm not sure. Go.
A notorious street performer once known for flying into anti-Semitic rants whilst dressed as Elmo in Times Square is terrorizing Santa Cruz terrorists in a Cookie Monster costume, cops have said. Adam Sandler, 59, pulled the Sesame Street switcheroo before hustling for tips at the city's scenic wharf where he's been yelling obscenities and taunting visitors, police told the San Francisco Gate. Cops have warned folks not to engage with the costumed creep after receiving reports that he's been frightening people by shouting at them and spouting angry conspiracy theories. Sandler became a much buzzed about Big Apple villain in September 2012 when he was arrested for going on a wild Jew-hating rant at the crossroads of the world. Crossroads of the world. He pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct and was dubbed Evil Elmo.
I love this next one.
He was sentenced to a year behind bars in 2013 for the equally bonkers crime of trying to extort $2 from the Girl Scouts in Manhattan before eventually heading out west and changing his Muppet identity, according to the outlet. Cali cops are warning people to avoid the creepy Cookie Monster at all costs. Wow, that's a sentence. Steer clear from him, Santa Cruz police spokesperson Joyce Blaschke told Cron 4, whatever the fuck that is. We're getting calls from people who say...
KRON4, it's a radio station.
Cron
yeah, but still, Cron 4.
Coming in your ears.
He's creepy. Based on his history, that's an acronym, we advise the public not to engage with this individual. She said, adding he had not been arrested for a crime linked to the alleged harassment.
Wow.
The street performer, who sometimes goes by Dan Sandler, was busted in 2014 in San Francisco, where he sometimes worked in a costume at the Fisherman's Wharf.
That's enough. There's enough to...
I hope he goes to jail in his suit. Like
I need to unpack a few. I need to unpack a few bits of this story. Right. One, elephant in the room. Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Sounds very Jewish to me.
Yeah. Also, not that Adam Sandler.
I was about to say, has he gone against his people already?
The same age, he's not that Adam Sandler.
Okay, that's one. Two, Jim Henson. Know what his faith was? Anyone? Could anyone guess?
Could he have been of the Judaic front?
Yeah, correct. So, again, you're picking your bad mascots there, unless it were ironic.
I think he's a lunatic, mate. I don't think there's any thought goes behind
Don't ever spout that kind of rhetoric from a Muppet. The Muppets are sacred creatures, and I love the Muppets. And they are not anti-Semitic. None of them are anti-Semitic or anti-anything. They are Muppets. They are pure. They are the best of all of us. Did you say it was in Florida?
Nope. New York and California.
That's a shame. It's usually a Florida man, that one,
it's
isn't it?
It's usually a Florida man, yeah. I think it's too humid in Florida to wear one of those suits.
So he's been on tour then, if he's doing New York and California.
He's doing his anti-Semitic tours.
There is a really kind of like, that morbid curiosity thing. I would love to see a video of that, of when he was arrested in 2012, where he's Jew-hating rant at Crossroads dressed as Elmo. There's something about that. I just kind of want to see the video of it.
I am almost
with the voice,
certain.
though, with the voice.
I am certain.
Elmo has a final solution.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God, fucking hell.
No, Elmo's final solution.
This is Mein Kampf.
Podcast title?
No. I am almost sure there was a scene in Sesame Street where Elmo went to temple and he had all the regalia on. I'm pretty sure that
he's done that. Yeah.
So Elmo's probably Jewish as well.
I mean, Elmo's made of red felt, mate. He's whatever the actor wants him to be.
It's just, I think this is fucking preposterous. And I thank you for bringing this to the table because I needed that. Give him the fucking chair, mate. Give him the fucking chair.
It was one of those news stories that happened upon it on Reddit, and as I was reading it, it gets stranger and stranger and stranger.
Stunning. That's a stunning bit of art. Just fantastic. Can't be topped. When we do an episode of Best News Story of the Year, it's number one so far. Number one. Oh, Nazi Elmo.
Yeah, that could be the title. But I think we've had Nazi in the title this year. I think we should stop doing that.
we can start talking, aren't they? But yes, let's move on to what we're going to be doing this month. Lots of stuff's coming out. So we just thought, I just said, look, right, there's loads coming out. We've got loads to talk about. Let's have a nice chunky month at Nexus. Let's just Nexus that shit up. I mean, we will have a patron's choice, so there will be a feature this month, whatever you idiots pick. But yeah, let's just Nexus this shit up and have a good time. We know you all love it. And I want to know, I reckon there's going to be a tag team on this one.
Potentially.
There's two people here that have been to space this week. I think you two should start.
Yes, both Candy and I have been to the one place where capitalism has not ruined it. Spice.
Do you know what? When I started this podcast, this was one episode I've really been looking forward to because Starfield was announced before I started. I knew I was going to be playing the absolute shit out of this game.
Starfield was announced in 2019.
Yeah.
You were in the room first.
Give them the time. Let them have their moment.
Can you imagine though if Candy just went, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's all right. I guess it's all right, yeah.
Right. 10's pretty accurate.
Let me go.
Do you want to guide us in this one?
Yeah, I'll do the leads.
Baby.
Oh my God.
Feed me the field of stars. I'm all ears. I'm keen on this game. I'm deadly keen.
That said, I will try and keep as critical a head on it as I possibly can, knowing that I've been absolutely busting for this. Busting a nut for this.
Instead of thinking that it's your husband that made this game, think it's Nazi Elmo made this game, so you can kind of... You're not biased then. You're not biased.
Okay, right. Nazi Elmo. No, I'm not going to think that. So, you start off, and the intro is you've been sent on a mining mission, and you're a rookie, and during this mission, you stumble across an anomaly. You touch the anomaly, and you see all kinds of crazy, wackety shit. And you have about 15, 20 minutes of gameplay. This happens, and then you get to the character creator.
Is this the mine bit? I've seen this bit.
Yeah, so this is non-spoilery, so that's all out.
I did really like that image when you touched the rock and all space and time, and then you saw like a tesseract, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It looked fucking badass, that.
So that's the intro to the game. You create your character, you step out in the middle of you get sort of ambushed by a bunch of essentially space pirates.
God, bloody pirates.
Then a representative of Constellation comes down, thinks you got what it takes, and just randomly gives you a spaceship.
You got Maxi, kid. You got spunk.
Gives you a spaceship and a robot that we now call Tesco.
Tesco. And
there's a robot called Tesco in
it? No, he's called Vasco, but...
Costco or something,
Tesco's better.
Yeah.
Tesco's better. Costco.
And off you go into space. And my initial impressions would be, I've got maybe sort of 8 hours good gaming time into it. Initial impressions, it's a Bethesda game through and through. It's Fallout
in... what you wanted.
Which is exactly what the doctor ordered. It's Fallout in space. I've got to a point in the game now where I've just realised how overwhelmingly huge it is. Like... It was advertised as being huge. It really is. So I've had to go to a couple of different constellations. You can't just go from one constellation to another. You have to take stop-offs on the way. So I've kind of skipped between 2 to 3 constellations to get to where I'm going, each of which has maybe 4 to 8 planets. Each planet has a couple of moons. You can land on them all.
Star systems and stuff.
Yeah, you can land on them all. You can go to them all. As you go along, you'll be given side quests, activities, adventures you can go off on, and it doesn't hold your hand in terms of tunneling you down one route. If you want to stop off at a moon, you can.
What you want, though, innit? That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, you can. I can see myself, and I've barely scratched the surface of any of the game's actual, the different mechanics that you can get. So I've done no shipbuilding, I've done no crafting, nothing whatsoever. I've just been mainlining the main quest, with the exception of stopping off in a couple of planets here and there, just to sort of...
I've seen a few people say they recommend doing the quest first.
The impression I get with this game is that and with a lot of Bethesda games, the main story isn't the good part of the game.
Yes.
So it might be a case. Yeah, it might be a case of getting the main story done to then open up the various different mechanics that you can get to. Bethesda games have never classically been super hot with storylines, I don't think. But yeah, I can honestly see myself spending hundreds of hours in this game.
Cool.
Gameplay-wise, again, it's Fallout in space. The only difference is the names of the items. So it's a case of, okay, so that's the laser rifle, right? That's, that's the health thing. That's what that's called. There is no difference other than you don't have VATS. The gunplay is very good. Surprisingly so. This is something that I dreaded. Not being somebody that's
good when I watched it, didn't I?
Yeah, and I'm not somebody that's particularly great at first-person shooters, which it was a bit of a worry. Like, I always kind of relied on VATS, but I haven't found it too bad yet because there's always a way around what you need to do rather than going guns blazing. You can set a couple of traps or you can try and talk your way out of it.
I like the VATS system in Fallout. Do you think it's missing from this, or is it okay not having it?
So far, I haven't missed it.
It's weird it not being there.
It's weird it not being there, but at the same time, the gunplay is so much better. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And then again, like, you do have the options to kind of maybe take certain routes around what you need to do.
Plus the snap to aim is pretty generous.
I like a snap to aim.
It is quite forgiving. And I've got it on normal mode as well. I don't have it on easy, and I'm not having to... I mean, it's challenging, but not... For somebody that's not good at first-person shooters, it's not too bad.
That's good.
But I haven't found any bugs yet. I haven't come across any major bugs. Mothram Deer has.
I've seen a few online, but it always seems to be people that are playing on underpowered PCs.
She's playing on an Xbox. So, and this was just a case of an enemy clipping through a bit of scenery, which wasn't a huge issue, but it's still something that should not be there. My frame rate has dipped a little bit as well.
I don't know what that was then.
He can't believe there's no bugs. It's got to stick.
Yeah.
we lost stick for a minute there. My frame rate has dropped a little bit. So it runs 30 frames per second rather than 60 frames per second. That was general knowledge. I have noticed a few dips and a few stutters, which is not particularly great.
First week. It's not even technically the first week, mate.
It's not officially open. Yeah, it's not officially been released
charm,
yet.
though, isn't it?
It's part of the charm, and it's not it's not a game breaking issue kind of thing. You've got load screens. They're not particularly. They're not too intrusive. There is no, and I think you mentioned this on Discord, Oodles. There's no map. So going out into the wilds of space, it really does feel like you're the kind of the first person to be exploring there in some moons.
I think I'm also the only person online that thinks that's a good idea.
It's an interesting choice.
Because they've clearly had that. They had the choice, and they've done this artistically and gone, no map. To me, that means I'm going to explore more and get lost more. That makes the game longer.
Especially
or they
with
couldn't
some
get
of
the maps to work.
Nah, they know what.
They know what they're doing.
It's easy to do a fucking map, mate. It's procedurally generated map, isn't it? It's just a map. But not having it, I think it's brave.
It is a case of going down, especially with the moons. It's a case of going down and seeing what you can see and running to that place. I think Bethesda hates moving vehicles, but I've found that I have been running over a bit of a barren wasteland for quite some time, sometimes just to see something in the distance I really want to see. But maybe that's by design.
Space is big, mate.
They don't even have the regular, the Bethesda games have the compass on the top, and it'll show you,
wow.
It doesn't have that. It has something similar on your watch that you can see on the bottom left, but it's not right front and center like the compass normally is.
Kind of like, again, I think it's a brave choice.
Yeah, it's not. Again, it's not something that would put me off. Although with this you do have a scanner, and if you do start to get slightly lost, you can hit the scanner. Not only does it scan wildlife and stuff, so you can learn about wildlife, you can see what metals. This is where it goes a bit No Man's Sky. You can do like metal farming and stuff.
This is what I was talking to my pal about this, because he's like, oh, I prefer No Man's Sky. And then he mentioned, oh, there's no map. And so I went, there's no map in No Man's Sky either, mate.
I mean, I can see the comparisons.
Isn't there? I went, no, there isn't one. And he's like, huh. So I think people are just like making excuse, or like, I don't know.
Trying to find something to pick up.
It's just a heads-up display indicates things to look for, doesn't it? When you use search.
There's no map.
Yeah.
No.
But I think like comparing it to No Man's Sky would be a bit of a disservice to it, not to cast any shadows on No Man's Sky's got
no narrative fucking merit whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it does have bits of No Man's Sky, but it has bits of Fallout, it has bits of all sorts.
Yeah.
The flying in space, this is something that surprised me a little bit. It both delighted me more than I expected, and I have found a little bit disappointing. So far, bear in mind, again, only about 8 hours in, maybe I just haven't got to it yet. I was hoping that there would be a little bit more manual flying in space, getting through asteroid fields, maybe a little bit more fighting enemy ships. I haven't found a lot of that so far.
Doing the Kessel run.
Yeah, there's been a bit of it.
That just depends on the star system you go to. I've been in quite a few where it says like hostile activity near a planet, so you can go up there and you can go have a fight.
I would like more of that, but then more manual flying as well to get from A to B.
I've also had I've had a few random encounters in space as well.
It's all about loading screens to planets, isn't it? You don't land on the planets yourself. It's all
A lot of people online seem to have gotten the wrong end of the stick with this one. They were expecting a No Man's Sky.
I don't think they never said that you could do that, did they?
No, they actually specifically said you couldn't do that, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
The game engine doesn't support it. What the game engine does support is tracking every single fucking object in the game and leaving it in the right place.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I went to, when you get into Constellation, they give you a bedroom. Great.
Yeah.
I dropped some gear there because I was encumbered, because fuck encumbrance. And then went off on my merry way. I came back about 6 hours later, and they're in exactly the same spot I left them in.
That's good. That's really good.
It's the creation engine. It's rickety. It's held together by sticky tape, but it's good at doing that shit.
Yeah. You can't argue
There
with
is
that
a lot of encumbrance as well. There's a lot of cucumbers in this game, but the way they
I've just had to push some points into strength.
I've done a couple, but actually it's more of a gameplay mechanic as well, because if you're encumbered, it's not a case of you start to like slow down and you can't fast travel. It takes health off you, kind of like the way RADs work. So it's you'll go through your normal O2, and then you'll start building up CO2, and so then it will take health off you. Yeah, so that's cool. But going back to the flying, a way that it did delight me was it's almost a flight sim in ways that you have a finite amount of power, and what you direct the power to isn't fixed. So if you're in combat, you can take power away from the thrusters and put them into your shields.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically that Elite Dangerous way of doing it, where you've got. It's done in a more basic way than Elite Dangerous does it, but you have full control over the power output of your ship.
Panels, and you can put them up and down. Yeah. I'm banging to that.
Or if you're fighting a ship that's probably not that strong, you only need to put a couple of ticks into your lasers and keep the rest on the shields and engines so you can keep up with them. Stuff like that.
Okay. I like that.
And then once you have defeated a ship, you can then dock it, which was
a bit of space
fucking
docking.
Cool. Yeah,
nice
space docking all the way. So,
and then you walk around their ship and bang into that
and steal it if you want.
Oh, you can be an absolute Klingon.
You can.
Absolute Klingon.
So, most of my thoughts on the game so far, I think I'm a little bit further than Kennedy is.
Of course you are.
I'm largely in agreement with her. There are a couple of things I don't like about the game, and it's kind of niggly stuff. The inventory system is fucking shite. I hate it so much. Mostly because it's really hard to see how much ammo you've got in your guns.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes, so it is from the inventories. Yeah,
a couple of times I've been caught in firefights switching to another gun. I was like, oh shit, I've got no bullets.
It doesn't say the bullets on the actual gun or anything like that.
It does when you take the gun out, but not when you're in the inventory. Yeah.
So it's fiddling farty.
It's a little bit fiddly-farty. Some of the writing is like laughably bad, like especially in the opening couple of cutscenes. Like even just the whole premise of like you got it, you got what it takes, kid, and you just get given a ship. I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you, mate? All you've done is see me murder some pirates.
That means he's a baddie, mate. Don't trust him.
Oh, everyone's a baddie in this game.
Don't get penisy.
But other than that, like, there's not really much to dislike about the game. Like, the people kicked off online about the space flight. It's almost exactly the same system as Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, that used to do the same thing. Yeah.
Just go in a menu, pick a planet, go.
Yeah.
And you can do a little bit of flying.
But Mass Effect did that. No one complained about that. You could not pilot the ship in Mass Effect. You had someone to do it for you.
You actually can pilot the ship. Like, if you want, you can fly across a star system. It takes you as long as it fucking takes you. Space is big.
Yeah, space is big, man. It's a big old place. Scary place.
But what I like about it, it's got that same kind of Bethesda sense of humor about things. You'll enjoy it more than you enjoyed Star Trek Skyrim Moodles, because you're not floating. You're not floating around. You've actually got some head bob. You feel connected to the world. You don't have a body though, which annoys me. You still look down.
That never bothered me. Never bothered me. I've played loads of games like that.
Yeah,
like Deus Ex. You didn't have a body on Deus Ex.
True. The guy who plays Adam Jensen plays a Wish.com cowboy in this game.
Does it?
With a terrible beard, because the creation engine cannot do beards.
I love him. I just did that. I just did that storyline.
That's the guy who played Adam Jensen, which threw me for a loop for a minute there. But generally, the presentation is good. The planets are, like Candy said, a lot of them are quite barren, but when you get to like populated ones with cities, they're really impressive. Like, especially when
what I've seen online where you can't explore the whole planet.
No, you can, but you can't do it in one shot. Like every time you look,
areas, there's maps.
Yeah, and they're quite expansive. They're like 4 or 5 square miles. Like, it's quite a lot of space that you get.
Why would you want to do it?
Yeah, like, you don't want to like walk the entire circumference of a dust bowl.
You're a fucking loser if that's what you're wasting your time on.
But what you'll eventually reach an invisible wall, and it'll say you're leaving the play area. What you can do is go back to your ship, launch back into space, go a little bit along, drop back down, and it generates a new map. You can explore the entire planet that way.
Yeah.
It's not No Man's Sky seamless, but then again, in No Man's Sky, who the fuck walked around an entire planet?
Nobody. Not
exactly.
Not a single person. You can put a waypoint and it says, time expected, real time, 48 days to walk round this planet. Like, why would you bother?
Exactly.
Someone out there will.
Yeah, of course there will. Loser.
A lot of the complaining and griping about Starfield, let's be online, seems to be just really weirdly bad faith. The funniest one I've seen, because, and we all know it's them internet people again.
Their internets.
Yeah, well, when you create your character, you can set their pronouns. Apparently,
this means
it's the wokest game in the world.
Oh, literally unplayable.
Not even the first game to do that.
No, but it's the first high-profile one.
You could do it in Cyberpunk, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You can, set your pronouns. Yeah.
You can do it, and you can do it on loads. But some don't even say male, female now. They say type A, type B, and type C and stuff, don't they?
Salty PlayStation fanboys. That's
not even that, mate. It's just fucking pricks.
It's ridiculous. The thing is, actually, and unlike a lot of Bethesda games, the character creator's really fucking good. You can do quite a lot with it. Like, someone's made Todd Howard in it.
Candy looks like Candy.
Yeah.
Like,
I've made myself
it's her. Like, it's ridiculous how good that is.
Well, I was just saying before we started recording, actually, like, I'm quite lucky because I got the kind of face where as long as I can make the face short and the cheeks wide and loads of eye makeup, that's
is
me.
Always first default option for Stig. Any game.
Don't take me long to create one.
It takes him a second to do it.
The trouble is, though, when you've made a character that's so uncannily like you, is when you do the death scenes, it's like, oh, that don't look good. You're taking on that pain.
If you're doing it that way, you're role playing as well. So sometimes you lock yourself out of something cool because, like, I wouldn't do that.
And I always do that. The first playthrough, I always play as myself. Like, what would I do? And I've noticed, this was bad as well because I've had to notch up a few of those like aging graphics on the character creator. That was definitely up a few notches since Fallout 4. Like, that humbled me real quick.
You're in a different age bracket now, pal.
Oh, I really am. Yeah, 35 plus.
Welcome to my world.
I think the long and short of this game is, if you enjoy Bethesda games, it's perfect.
100%.
It's not game of the year for me. It's not good. There's no way in hell it outruns Baldur's Gate. It just won't.
But it's nice. It's nice to exist.
It is a really good light touch RPG because the Bethesda game, like the RPG elements themselves are kind of light touch. It's more of just a build your own character game.
Yeah, they said it was going to be a deeper RPG as well, and not that I've noticed more than Fallout.
No, it's pretty much Fallout. What I like actually that they've brought back from previous Fallouts rather than the Fallout 4 method, you actually get to see the dialogue you're going to say to a character. Yeah. It's not just the 4 options with a word, which is basically 3 yeses and a no.
Yeah.
This you actually get like the proper lines of what you will actually say.
That's what you want to do, isn't it? That's what you want.
And you don't have a voice, so you don't have to rely on weird voice acting.
Cool. I'm conscious on time on that one, but I want to jump off the back of this Bethesda trek because I did something this week. I finally done it. I've got past the bits in Skyrim that I couldn't get past. I've been playing Skyrim, guys.
Yes.
I wanted to feel some Bethesda love while everyone was feeling Bethesda love. I am 20 hours into Skyrim now.
Ooh.
Gets better, doesn't it?
The surface has been scratched.
Oh, the opening to Skyrim is shite.
It's boring. It's just crap.
It's like, so much walking and crap experiences.
I'll give you a brief chat. I'll chat more about the Skyrim stuff in the green room. So if you're Patreon, I've got a great story to tell you about my Skyrim time. But the bits that I always struggled on when I first started was the combat. Now, I've alleviated that massively by being more ranged and using magic. And I feel like the game pushes you towards that because it's way better experience. But I'll talk about Skyrim a bit more in the green room. I want to talk about a game I am reviewing and a game that Gadget kind of reviewed last week. Here's the definitive Armored Core 6 review. Course. Gadget, what a prince. Prince amongst men sent this to me. The firstest of fastest class possible. Mm-hmm. I mean, before it came out of his hand, it were in my hand. That's how fast it was. He teleported it to me. I've beat it.
Fucking hell, man, you're having a day.
I haven't stopped playing it, though. I'm still beating it. Like what you said last week, I get why you don't like this game that much. Yeah. Because you wanted the FromSoft vast world, vast exploration, wonder.
Yeah.
It ain't no wonder in this.
No,
at all.
Dropped in a map and so go kill them lads over there.
There's nothing to explore for. There's nothing to pick up. There isn't even a pick up button. You don't pick anything up. You don't do anything like that. You shoot, you dodge, you die, or you survive. It's a 10 out of 10, this game, mate. It's fucking brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic.
It is also what I said last week. It's an excellent game. I'm the problem with it. Like, the game has done nothing wrong.
How far did you get? Can you remember?
I beat the final boss of Chapter 1.
Oh, yeah, the big circular thing.
Yeah, but the point where I'd properly gotten fucked off with it and I only beat the chapter just out of pure
spite.
Pure spite was the... I think it was just the mission before that where you've got the invisible teleporting guys with the sniper rifles. Yeah. Fucking hated that. That was a terrible mission.
Yeah. Luckily, they don't come back. So
nah.
And this is not a flex, not a game of flex. I died once throughout my run. It's a little bit too easy compared to the last, but I know what they've done. They've made it accessible Armored Core. The control scheme is more Dark Soulsian, isn't it?
Yeah.
You control your mech like you control your character in Dark Souls and Elden Ring. At first, it was very jarring for me, that because the turning circles are quite long. You always get attacked from behind, which on the last time call you had a quick turn. Turns out you can unlock quick turn. I didn't realise that until near the end. And but after, and I think it is about after Chapter 1, which is about 3-4 hours in, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just clicks and you go, wow. And then the story, there's twists and turns I didn't expect, because the story is that you are just a mercenary that drops in and happens to find the legendary Raven unit, and you become Raven, which is a legendary thing, if you don't know the lore. And you've then got like 8 to 10 different corporations vying for your mercenary work. And what you're doing in the middle as a silent protagonist, you're using the fuck out of all of them for your own needs. And you're playing them off against each other. One mission, you could be allied with 2 AC units, armored core units, 2 mechs. And a few missions later, you're fighting them because they are now the enemy, because you're fighting... You're basically Mr. Fence Sitter throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then something beautiful happens. You become a free agent, and it's not really much of a story spoiler, but it starts going crazy. The plot starts going a bit crazy, a bit alien, a bit weird that you don't expect. And I love that aspect of it. And the scale's fantastic. You don't realise how big the armoured core is until you stand on a car by accident, and the car just explodes. Oh shit, I've stood on a car. Like you said, Gadget, it does look like a game that could have been released last gen. It's not stunning. It's just nice.
It's got a nice art style to it.
It's got a lovely art style to it. Not when I'm walking around as a fucking Gundam, though. It looks weird being all bright white, blue, and yellow in that world, and everyone's like grey and dark and dingy. But it's just the customization's fantastic. The bosses are some of the highlights. I saw people online saying, this boss was impossible. I'm like, it weren't. I've just done it. You know what I mean? I think people are expecting different things from it. And I've been speaking to a lot of Armored Core fans, and they're saying it feels like the PS Vita and the PSP ones, the bit more arcadey ones, that it's less of a simulator and more of just a run and gun, Ace Combat style thing. And I just think it's fantastic. And did you do any of the arenas or anything like that, Gadget?
No, I got it all unlocked, but I didn't do it by time.
The arena stuff's fantastic. And I've unlocked multiplayer and PvP, but I don't want to get sucked in, because I will. I don't have to pay PS Plus now, even now it's 400 million quid. But I just think it's probably the best mech game that exists ever, which is massive to say, because there's so many mech games. And a lot of people aren't into mech games. The best way I can describe it, and I said it last week, they're like flight sim games, aren't they? They're like arcadey flight games, because most of the time you are in the air. And I've unlocked the Bloodborne weapon, Gadget, the pile driver thing. What's that called? What's that called?
The one that Jura has.
Yeah, the one that Jura has. And I thought, I mean, spoiler alert, I was fighting a guy named Patches, and I'm pile driving him with this fucking like bolt. It's like a bolt gun, isn't it? But and it's the exact same weapon. And if you're a fan of From Software in general, there's loads of callbacks to it and stuff like that.
I know there's a Moonlight Greatsword in there somewhere.
I've got that. It's not as good as you'd think. But there's loads of... It's just fucking brilliant. And I'm constantly replaying missions to earn money and get better. And I don't know. It's just really fucking good. And the story's a lot better than I thought it were going to be. And I just absolutely adore it. It's a 10 out of 10. But if you're not a mech fan, if you're not into games that challenge you in that kind of way, it's easy a 7 out of 10. Because it can be quite impenetrable if you don't know the genre. So I'm not recommending it to everyone. I'm recommending it to people that are already going, I'd like to give that a try. Don't expect Dark Souls. Don't expect Elden Ring. Don't expect Bloodborne. None of that. It's none of that. It's its own thing. Its heritage is 20 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what to expect. But yeah, it's fucking love it. Anyway, Stig, what you been doing?
This week, Kate and I started watching Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, I keep seeing it advertised.
Yeah, so it's American mystery comedy drama. It stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. And basically, it's these they all live in this like Upper West Side apartment building, like full of all these like crazy and kooky different residents, and you know, like the superintendent of the building, everyone's got this like funny character about them. But these three they come together one night after the building gets evacuated, and while they're waiting to be let back in, they all discover that they're all the fans of the same murder mystery crime podcast. So they kind of develop. So they develop a friendship over this crime podcast. whilst they're out of the building, one of the other residents is murdered. And they suddenly start to create their own. Then they decide to create their own murder mystery crime podcast about the murder in their building. And so the show is hilarious. So Steve Martin plays Charles Hayden Savage. He's a semi-retired actor who used to star in like a popular 90s crime drama, Brazos. You have Martin Short is Olivia Putnam, who is kind of a disgraced, financially struggling Broadway director.
Fucking love Martin Short.
He's so good.
He's very funny in it.
He is hilarious.
I just love him, man. I've always loved him.
He's great. And then Selena Gomez, Mabel Morris. She's a young artist who's currently living in her aunt's unit, redecorating.
I can't picture who Selena Gomez is. Let me have a look.
Former Disney child.
Yeah, so she's kind of doing up her aunt's apartment. What's the word? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I've seen it before.
Condo, isn't it?
But yeah, so they create this podcast and they're constantly unlocking like clues and everything, and digging deeper and deeper into the residents of this place they live in, and finding out all this like new stuff and all this new information. The show constantly keeps you guessing. So yes, it is a comedy at heart, but there's a lot of drama and mystery there as well that keeps you intrigued. Like we're constantly, as me and Kate are watching this, we're like saying, "Oh, that person there, but what about that person there?" Like it does a really good job of like subverting your expectations on certain people. But yeah, it's currently got 3 series out. They're all on Disney Plus. We've finished season 1 and went straight on to season 2. And yeah, I think it's brilliant. It's an American comedy you will like, Oodles. It's only 10 episodes series as well, half-an-hour episodes, but each episode leaves you with wanting to see the next one, which is very frustrating when you watch a few episodes and it's like midnight. And you're like,
you want to keep going,
it
don't
ends
you?
in a cliffhanger. You're just like, oh no, I want to see the next episode, but also I have to go to bed.
We're about halfway through season 1, but we're quite enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, I really like it. I think Martin Short is probably the funniest character out of the 3. But there is some absolutely amazing Steve Martin moments in the last few episodes. There's 2 moments in the last episode that had me and Kate in stitches. Like, he's using his real physical comedy for it. And
it's good to see him still working, though, isn't it?
Yeah, some of the reoccurring characters, like the residents that live there as well, they're all kind of funny and kooky in their own way, and they're really good. There's one episode in it where the whole thing is told kind of from a deaf person's perspective. So there is no sound outside of kind of muffles and things being touched and knocked over, and the occasional like just breath noises and things like that. It's so well done. Like I can't believe they actually did a full episode like that. But I
keep seeing adverts for it, and I'm like, I like the adverts, so I'm going to jump on.
Yeah, I've been told. Sorry, Gadget.
I was going to say I saw something on TikTok. There's a real estate agent in New York talking about that building that it's filmed in, and about how much those apartments actually cost.
Oh,
I dread to think how much they cost.
$2 million each.
So they had the 3-bedroom unit, which is what Martin Short's character has. The closest one you could find to that in that building, $5.8 million.
Wow!
I saw that. I saw the similar thing about the apartment that the Friends people living in Friends, and that'd be worth $2 million.
Oh yeah,
it would now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. It's one of those ones where you just keep hearing people say, "Oh, you should watch that. You should watch that." So we needed something new to watch.
I'm gonna start one tonight.
The half-an-hour episodes, and I know how you like it. Half-an-hour episode.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus. Really, really, really good.
Lovely. Cool. Biggie.
Well, Candy watched one and reviewed it, and Stiggy mentioned the other, so I've watched back-to-back The Possessor and Infinity Pool. Yeah, they were interesting movies, without a doubt. Possessor is the one that Stiggy mentioned, the 2020 science fiction psychological horror. And Infinity Pool was one that Candy reviewed the other week, and both written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg. Yes, he of David Cronenberg fame. The Possessor stars...
That's an acronym.
Huh?
The spawn of...
And that is how genetics work.
Testicles fame.
It stars Andrea Riseborough and Christopher Abbott and Rosa Sutherland, Tuppence Middleton, Sean Bean, and Jennifer Jason Leigh in supporting roles.
Busted.
Riseborough portrays an assassin who performs her assignments through possessing the bodies of other individuals, but finds herself fighting to control the body of her current host, Abbott, is the main plot for that. And yeah, it's a brutal movie. Damn, the opening is just insanely brutal. And it just gets messed up from there. And like Candy says, it's very similar with certain scenes. There's a scene in this movie where the control of what Andrew's trying to do with the character of Christopher, and they're sort of coming apart. And you get this really weird transformation as they're sort of losing control of each other. And it's just dark and insanely weird. And it's definitely got that sort of dreamlike feel to the whole movie. Very interesting films from Brandon. I can see he's got a lot of good stuff coming his way, I imagine. But yeah, I thought both movies were really good, really interesting themes. The Assassin one's really cool, and Candy.
It's nice to see that your fellow podcasting comrades are recommending good things. That's how you see it.
Yeah,
proof is in the pudding.
They're tough watches. They're not easy watches.
No,
gory and weird in both.
They're not Sunday
really
afternoon after your roast dinner watches, are they?
No,
that's what I say for Schindler's List.
That's everyone's favourite Sunday afternoon watch.
Yeah,
but I agree with Candy. You've got to be in the right mind frame to watch them, because they are deep and dark movies, but they're very, very good. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does more. I wouldn't want to talk too much about the movies because you don't want to spoil anything in it. But
no.
Yeah, really, really, really good.
Meant. Gadget, do you have anything else other than Starfield, sir?
Just a really quick one, just so you get a fifth thing to put on the artwork.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So this week I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, Last Podcast on the Left. And their latest episode, as of this week, they have a really, really interesting interview with one of my other favorite podcasters, Dan Carlin from Hardcore History.
Oh, I love Dan Carlin.
And I always like it when the streams cross and you get like your favorite guy interviews your favorite guy kind of thing. But hang on.
I hope just eats turn up. Just drink.
I always like it when the streams cross and you get your favorite guy talking to your favorite guy.
This is why I'd love to get Theo Von interviewing Biggie.
Yes.
I think that'd be the most ultimate podcast of all time.
There was the one of the interesting things that I pulled out of it, and Dan Carlin just says it as a throwaway thing. He doesn't script his episodes. He does these
it's off the cuff, isn't it?
Yeah, these 7-hour long episodes of Hardcore History, and he records them in maybe like 5 takes, like in sections.
Wow. Similar to this podcast.
It's mental. Like, just the amount of detail that he puts in there, it's incredible. But it's worth listening to. 1, listen to his process, and 2, also find out that Dan Carlin kind of invented the podcast, or was involved in the inventing of the podcast. Like, it wasn't like a thing from Apple that everyone assumes it was.
Oh, everyone says it's Ricky Gervais. No.
Yeah. No, Dan Carlin was doing it first, and he was like on the ground floor of doing it. So, absolutely worth listening to, especially if you like either Hardcore History or Last Podcast on the Left. It's a really fascinating interview.
But it's something I don't listen to every week. That's my problem. I dip in. Dip
into this episode. It's only an hour long.
I will. I'll dip my toe in, see if the water's warm.
Plus, Dan Carlin's just got a really lovely voice. I like listening to him.
I love him. I think
Very
he's
relaxing.
Brilliant. He's by all accounts is a lovely bloke in real life anyway, isn't he?
His voice has got that whiskey and 20 Marlboro sound to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Middle America radio host kind of thing.
Yeah, Appalachia. Yeah. Cool. Have we got any feedback this week?
We have a couple of quick bits. Super Natty Cat has said, this week we watched Painkiller on Netflix, which follows the based on real events story of how OxyContin results in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans who became addicted to this potent drug. It stars that guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Godzilla. And Godzilla. That'd be Alan
Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick.
The guy that killed someone.
Yeah. Truth be told, it was grim. I mean, it's not going to be an uplifting film.
Put that Oxycontin program on. I can't wait. It's going to be a laugh a minute.
Oh, God. Life's tragic. Best Boy Angry Curtis said, after Oodles...
Hang on.
Biggie's missed out a load of stuff she's posted.
Oh, Biggie.
I only saw the one bit from her.
She's posted 4.
Where, though? Is it his fault?
I only saw the one.
It
will be, but I only saw the one bit.
It's a post after a post after a post after a post.
Not when I looked, it was just one.
Let me get to our X page.
You have to click. You have to click
now. It's called.
You have to click on the post because the way Twitter is now, not refusing to call it X. I'm being that pathetic. It opens up the thread.
Oh, I can't look at it because it wants me to sign in.
It's basically more underneath.
All right, hang on. She
one,
says, truth be told, it was grim, yet compelling to the point where I couldn't take my eyes off it. Acting is on point and the scenes of addiction are frightening. Each episode starts with a family describing the loss of their loved ones from this drug and the horrifying thought that the people addicted to Oxycontin were completely normal, straight down the line, law-abiding people, given the drug to help with bad back or recovering from an op. Next thing, they're found dead in gas stations after snorting the stuff crushed up. Must watch, but you will only watch it once. Theo this week, Stuartacus, has been watching all 3 car movies. He rates them 6 out of 10. The cars move fast and are easy to focus on because we are still learning smooth muscle transitions. But there's a lack of songs, and in the last film, we missed the plot points because he had to do a massive built-in poo.
I don't know. It's got Life is a highway.
There's never any songs in Pixar's really anywhere.
No.
They're the only Pixar films I've not seen. Cars
one's great.
Well, everyone said that Cars was crap, so I never bothered.
No, Cars one's good.
I don't know. Cars like the lower, like the ones that the Pixar films that everyone's like, nah.
No, because there's something crazy about it. The fact there's no humans in that world.
Cars 1 is decent, but it is still a lower tier Pixar film.
Yeah,
think of it, Stig. Cars go to an arena to watch cars race, and they're all cars themselves. What a weird, dystopian.
I know, it's weird.
Future
The only thing I've seen from Cars is that little car just going, "Light me McQueen." That's literally.
that's what it's good. I like Cars 1. Cars 2 and 3.
See, my kids never wanted to watch it, so I was like, if I have to watch it, I'm just going to have to sit here and watch it by myself. And I just
you're not going to be that fucking weirdo, are you?
I have too many other films.
Mate, I've seen Planes as well.
Oh wow,
that's not Pixar though.
I've still seen it.
Anyway, moving on.
Sorry, Nat, that's my fault. But if you use the proper form, these things wouldn't happen. Unlike Kurt.
He is right. I'm sorry, Nat, but Biggie's completely right. We have the forum there, not the forum, the form there, ready with as many numbers or characters as you want. Just start doing it. Like Kurt.
So Angry Kurt has said. No, he hasn't said that.
Is that what he said? Did he get?
Thought that was going to be a lot quieter than it was.
Burpee, Kurt.
I always get told off when I do that.
That's the first time I think you've done a massive burp on the podcast, Gadget. You're a pig, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
And no one will ever hear it because I'm the editor.
No, keep that in.
No,
that has to stay in.
Angry Curtis said, after Oodles' glowing review last week, I decided to pick up Blasphemous 2, and 4 hours in, it's been fantastic. It's just a really satisfying Metroidvania with platforming that feels great to play and combat that is good fun too, with the different enemy attack patterns, and I'm not getting lost either. The upgrades are cool. Yeah. However, if I had any complaints, it's this. I'm really sorry, but I just don't like the whole Souls-like mechanics in this game, and the likes of Hollow Knight where you lose some of your magic meter or whatever it's called when you die, and the only way to refill it back to maximum capacity is to go to pray at the woman behind a veil. When I die in these games, I just want to start at full strength, ready to go again. I know people won't agree, but it's just how I feel about the mechanic. I just find it annoying. Thankfully, it's not enough to put me off in this game, whereas it was in Hollow Knight, largely because I found that game harder than this. Yeah, not everyone likes the corpse run mechanic.
I agree with him. In Blasphemous, especially, it is wholly unnecessary. You don't lose any souls, anything like that. Your magic just gets halved. And it's a game where you rely on it, and you have to go back to this deacon, and he absolves you of your sins. Guilt, should I say, sorry. And it's just unnecessary. In Hollow Knight, it was the risk-reward. It made sense in that game. In Dark Souls, it's even more risk-reward. It's checkpointing, isn't it? Can I do this before I get to the next bonfire? In this, I think it's just a tick on a box for them.
Yeah,
it wouldn't make the game any lesser to not have it.
At least in Hollow Knight, they put in like an alternative mechanic where if you couldn't get back to where your ghost was, you could go and pay a rancid egg to EG.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of with Kurt on this. These Metroidvanias can lose that Souls aspect now. It's unnecessary. Yeah. It's just an unnecessary thing.
He finishes off saying, I'm also not a fan of the writing, which means I'm not really paying attention to the story or lore, which I'm sure is great, but when things are written in an almost Shakespearean way, it just goes over my head and I disengage with it.
Nah, it's shit, mate. Story's shit.
You're not really there for the story of a Metroidvania, are you?
No, it's shit, mate. It's just verbose, really orthodox
some
Spanish
kind of lore
Catholicism.
In Hollow Knight. I have no idea what the fuck it is.
I don't know it.
No, I just love
Gadget knows it. He's watched videos on it. Gadget knows the lore in Hollow Knight, but I didn't know the lore in Hollow Knight either.
I don't care.
I don't.
Go kill
when
some bugs.
you've got really good gameplay, you don't need it. They're all bugs, aren't they?
Unless he throws someone off a volcano, I don't care.
Yeah. If there's no Cyberpunk Corporation, you're not bothered. Killzone ain't got a story, mate. It's crap.
Because the gameplay is the best. That's what I'm saying.
They don't have a story. It's just space Nazis, isn't it? That's it.
Gameplay is the best.
Is that the
yeah,
feedback?
That's the feedback. Yep.
Thank you very much. As always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. Next week, it's going to be another Nexus. I've got loads this month. I've done loads. I've got loads of stuff to do.
Me too.
It's going to be fantastic. Please send it in to the correct forms if you've got things that you want us to read out to you. It's not the end of the show yet.
Just a reminder, if you're a patron as well, Kenny Potter will be out on Monday.
I was going to get there.
Well, you weren't.
I weren't. But yeah, Kenny Potter. You said Tuesday?
No, Monday the 11th. It's always going to be the second week of the month.
Yeah. We need to record another one of them soon, don't we? I need to watch a film.
I need to finish reading the book. The book's too fucking big.
They're massive tomes, aren't they? But yeah,
read every other word.
Kenny Potter's really good. Are we going to get a Too Fast, Too Curious anytime soon? You guys going to be watching that film? No.
Nope. Not yet, but we will.
No. We also did. I don't know if you'll have heard it by now. The Scorched sheep wrap up. We did that. That was quite enlightening because it reminded me of something I did 3 months ago.
Yeah. You dick.
Really enlightening. But yeah, it's all good stuff. If you are a patron, you'll see us in the green room. But before that, I am wondering what's going on in that little red head of hers. It's a trip down Candyland.
And now, what's up in Candyland?
I've got some life hacks to live by this week, and
not when I'm drinking,
I can say 100% I use this in everyday life, all of them.
Toilet.
So I've got top 10 used almost every day in this household. This household being me, right?
In this family,
there we go.
We're a life hack family. If your car's making a strange noise, turn the radio up.
Yeah.
If you have unexpected guests, quickly put a bunch of clean dishes on the dish rack, so it looks like you've got the situation in the sink under control, like you're working your way through it.
Why can't you just wash them?
How does that cover like the rest of the bomb site that is your kitchen?
You've got it in hand. Yeah. You started.
Candy, remember, there's only you in your household. Just wash the plate after you've used it.
Or don't invite people round.
Wow.
They'll never see the game again then.
That's the point. That's the thing.
Bath your cat by putting dish soap in your toilet, put the cat in the toilet, close the lid, then let nature do the hard work.
Now I know why that cat beats fuck out of you.
Yeah, Candy, just kind of roll up your sleeves. I just want to see all the scars.
Actually, I do.
You want to know how I got these scars? Put the cat in the
toilet. Where are we? Park anywhere for free by lifting your windscreen wipers up so parking attendant can't leave a ticket.
Wow.
You can just they stick to the windscreen.
You can put it down.
They stick to the windscreen. Yeah, also some of them,
they've got sticky bits on them, haven't they?
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, but then if your windscreen wipers are up, how are they going to get to you? Like,
is this why you keep getting tickets?
Mechanism. Nah, it's fine. It works.
Mate, I don't drive, and I know that they just stick them on.
I don't think so. I don't think so, my darling. No, I don't think so, my darling.
Look at me with that. I don't think so. Nope. I'd love to see a traffic warden go up to your car and go, well, I can't put a sticker on here. I don't know what to do. These windscreen wipers
are up. I can't even get to the windscreen.
It's like the thing that it just confuses them. You know, like smoke
and she's
with
there going,
bees.
I don't think so, darling.
Like,
I don't think so, darling.
I don't think so, my love. All right, next one. Shout, this belongs in a museum before shoplifting, the Indiana Jones way.
I like a Pringles tube. Other crisps are available.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. Tired of paying tax? Just don't.
What?
When you go to prison, you don't have any bills to pay in prison either.
You have to pay them when you get out, though.
Yeah, but you might never come out. You might die in there.
Also,
you might get shanked.
Hey, it's also free house, isn't it?
For most of us on pay-as-you-earn tax, we don't have the choice.
Yeah. Oh, I'd go freelance, and you can just say what you want.
Yeah. Someone does my taxes for me every month.
Can someone send the tax man around to Candy Sales just to check?
Yeah, please.
Don't do that.
I hope you're declaring your wildly successful YouTube channel as well.
Of course I am. Mm-hmm. Yes, of course
I'm not talking HMRC, I'm talking the old school Inland Revenue as well.
Get them down. Get them down.
And while we're here, we need to talk about these parking tickets you haven't paid either.
Oh, shit. I'm going down. I'm going to the Slammer. I'm going to the Slammer for a long time. Want to avoid talking to somebody you recognise in Asda? Tell the security guard that they're shoplifting.
No, what if they shout, "This belongs in a museum"?
Well, they'll be off, won't they?
Mm.
It doesn't matter. They'll shout, "This belongs in a museum," and off
but
they
they're holding you. This belongs in a museum.
Oh, shit, they'd be right. Have you bought something expensive for your house and you don't want anyone to see it on rubbish day, and then so you don't get burgled? Just put it outside your neighbour's house.
I assume you're talking about the box there.
Yeah, the box.
Okay,
not the thing. Yeah. Not the thing. Not the thing. The box. Yeah, I missed out some words.
Don't you live in a block of flats?
Number 2. If you well-known fact, if you eat while standing up, the calories don't count. You're on the move.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
Yeah. And number 1, miss working from home. Recreate that environment in the office by showing up naked, like I am now, from the waist down.
Cheers, guys. Cheers. Get it watched on YouTube.
And that's Candyland.
The worst part is all 10 of those things I can see you doing.
Yeah,
I absolutely.
She's not got.
I told you.
She's not got a list from the internet. These are her mind. These are all from her.
I got no knickers on right now.
Same.
Oh, but you're sitting in a leather chair though. It's just going to be all squelchy.
She likes to squelch.
Yeah.
She likes to make whistling noises in the chair.
Like the ass mark.
Anyway, if you are a patron, see you in a few seconds. But if you're not, this is the end of the show. We will end it on that as well. That's what we're like. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Bye.